Hi there, Yvonne here from EweMove Sales and Lettings. Welcome to another of our occasional series designed to help landlords in particular, but anybody thinking about becoming a landlord and what's involved. Today I'm delighted to introduce Sam Lindsay from My Mortgage Angel, and she's going to spend some time just checking out the general concerns of people that are thinking about lending and how being a landlord would work in terms of leverage and the products that are available out there. So welcome, Sam. Thank you for coming along today.
Thank you for having me.
That's quite all right. So Sam, you're local, you're the same as me, work in the Benfleet Hadleigh area and surrounding areas. So have you always worked in this area with mortgages?
So My Mortgage Angel was born 6 years ago now, and I've got a head office in London, so that works well for clients and for the relationship managers for the lenders. And I've got a lovely office in my garden, which means I can work all the hours that I need to. Lenders can withdraw their products at midnight on any given day,
Right.
so there are times where I have to work quite late in the evening because it feels like that's the right thing to do for my clients. I'm not sure many of the other brokers would necessarily be working till midnight, but it feels like the right thing for me to do. So it gives me that flexibility.
Yeah.
It's a nice big office where clients can come in, especially with first-time buyers or people who are unsure of information. I invite the whole family, so there's plenty of space for people to come in and just talk everything through in a nice, safe environment, and it's confidential as well.
Yeah, lovely. Can you tell us a little bit about if people are thinking of becoming a landlord and they need to borrow some money, sort of how do they go about it and how much can they borrow?
So you need a minimum of 25% deposit with a buy-to-let property or investment property. People often don't know that it's such a high deposit because when you're buying a house in a residential name, it's only a 5% deposit and flats a 10% deposit.
Yeah.
But with an investment property, it's a minimum of a 25% deposit.
Right.
And then the amount that you can borrow is based on the rental income of the property.
Oh.
Most lenders will have a minimum earned income level, so that so long as you earn X amount of pounds and you're an owner-occupier, then the amount that you can borrow on the property is worked out on the rental income of the property.
Lovely, okay. So worth engaging, if you're thinking about this, it is worth engaging with an agent perhaps in the area that you want to buy to just get an idea of what the rental incomes are. There's fees and things to take into account. So you need to do your homework before even applying for a mortgage in some ways so that you know the information to share with you.
Definitely.
Right, okay, lovely. Sam, when you've got your mortgage or you're looking at your mortgage, do any providers have any restrictions on the sort of tenants you might be able to have in your property?
Generally, there aren't any restrictions on the tenants that you can have. Most lenders are looking for at least a year's tenancy agreement in place to take out the mortgage. So there's the security that the rent's going to be coming in so that you can pay the mortgage.
Yeah.
Obviously, if your tenant does leave or doesn't pay their rent, you're still liable to pay the mortgage payments, which is why it's very sensible to be have some savings set aside for eventualities.
So given that, once you've taken your mortgage out, you are responsible for that mortgage being paid. It's not the tenant's responsibility to pay the mortgage. Obviously, I think both of us would encourage people to take out some kind of rent protection product, and there's plenty of things out there, either via an insurance product through an insurance broker, or indeed agents like myself would have rent protection. So I think so. It's about putting all the blocks in place to protect you and your product, really, isn't it? Your new home that's being bought.
Absolutely.
Lovely. Okay. So Sam, sometimes we hear about the benefits of buy-to-let mortgages as a personal mortgage, but also we hear about the benefits of buying as a limited company. Can you expand on that at all and let us know, if it is a good thing to buy through a limited company?
I'm not a tax advisor, so I can't cover anything like that. From a mortgage point of view,
Yeah.
But limited company mortgages are more expensive. I just looked at the rates today. If you were to buy a property in a personal name, today's rates on the 25th of January 22, a 5-year fixed rate could cost you 1.73% with no lender fees on there. If you were to buy the same property in a limited company,
Yeah.
it would be 3.19%, and there would be £1,995 of lender fees on there.
Wow.
So it makes a huge difference from a mortgage point of view, whether you're buying it in your personal name or through a limited company. Both are available, but you need to seek the right advice as to what's right for you.
Yeah, so again, we're talking about other professionals that you might want to consider, an accountant potentially, or certainly a financial advisor to advise on the overall long-term strategy that you have for your purchasing.
It very much depends on your own personal situation. So when we're talking about mortgages, we're not just talking about the property, we're talking about your wider situation as well. So you need to have those conversations. I'd say particularly with a tax advisor. If you've already got an accountant, then they'll be able to guide you through what's right for you because they've got that knowledge of you already.
Fair enough. That's good advice. Thank you. So let's say you've got a property, you've either inherited it or you've bought your first rental property, which is great. You've got something, you've got an asset. How do you think about leveraging that to get you the next, the second, the third, or whatever sort of properties out of it? What's your advice there, please?
So if you've inherited a property and you've got no mortgage on the property already, so essentially you own 100% of the property, you can raise a mortgage on that property up to 75% of the value of it based on the rental income. So you can then release that money to do whatever you want for any legal purposes. So you could use that to upscale your own personal home or to build an extension, or to use that as a deposit on the next property. So if you're releasing 75% of the value of the property that you already own, that could be a fair few 25% deposits on the next properties to build your portfolio quite quickly.
Even give you a bit of a cushion so that you've got some support if you need to do any upgrades once you've bought it and things like that, getting it lettable up to a good lettable standard and things like that.
And to keep up to date with all the regulations and all
of
the
which
checks.
there are many, absolutely. No, that's great, thank you very much. Obviously you've got a lot of experience, you've got a lot of advice that you'd like to share with potential customers. Once somebody's reached out to you, what can they expect from yourself in terms of sort of service and the way you work that might also be different from other brokers out there?
I like to think we are quite different from other brokers. Our passion is to help people. We've never charged any fees for our advice, and we never plan to, because we want to help people genuinely make the right decisions. Yes, we look at mortgages, but it's about more than that. It's, are you planning to go self-employed in the future? Do we need to plan for that? Are you likely to be on maternity leave when your rate ends? It's all the wider planning that can have a huge impact on your life. So we like to really get to know our clients and work with them long term. We invite them to our office to have the free, obviously everything's free, the initial meeting where we get to know them and they can bring their family along, especially with first time buyers. That's quite important to them. We like to dispel a lot of the myths where people say, I heard this from my friend down the pub, or my dad said. The more people you get involved with the conversation, the more everybody trusts you. I've been qualified for 16 years now. There aren't many scenarios that I don't think I've come across already. I love a challenge, so if there's anything exciting, then bring it on. We're whole of market, we're completely independent, so we can recommend any mortgage or life insurance that's right for our clients. And we don't give up. So because we don't charge a fee, we get paid commission from the lenders, but we don't get that commission until 6 weeks after your mortgage starts. So I think we're more invested in actually getting clients across the line than anybody that charges a fee up front.
Completely relate to that, because being a no sale no fee sort of relationship provider myself, that's great. So so that's really good. That is unusual. Most brokers out there will have a fee of some kind. So that's really, really good. That's lovely. Well, lovely speaking to you today, Sam. Thank you very much for your time. Hope you found that interesting. We'd love to introduce you to Sam, so do give us a call here at EweMove if you'd like an introduction, or of course Sam's details will be following this message in the comments afterwards. So thanks very much for listening. Bye.